Hello, welcome to my shed. This ugly, brown, tiny building in my backyard. It's probably the most uninteresting part of our home, but today I want to change that. It's mostly just a place where we keep Halloween and Christmas decor and the lawnmower and our inflatable pool. And although we don't really use it to go inside of, I want to make the outside look a lot more magical than it does now. As many of you know, I'm kind of obsessed with being a Hobbit. A lot of my home and the things that I do in my home are inspired by Bag End. So today I have chosen, after almost 3 years of living in this home, to make my shed look like a Hobbit hole. Now, it's not going to have a real circular door. We're going to do our best to have it look like a circle, but it'll be a functioning rectangular door. We're going to do as much as we can to make it look like a real Hobbit hole. It's kind of a weird shape for that because it doesn't really look like it's underground, but we're hoping with a little TLC and some innovation, we can make it look like it's underground, at least a little. So not only are we going to do that, we're going to try and decorate it to make it look as cute and whimsical and magical as possible. It's going to be really cute. We're going to go with traditional Hobbit colors, and I'm so excited to get ready for this project. Okay, so let's get started. First things first, we have to demolish the front of the shed. The facade is the worst part. That door has been falling apart since we moved into this place. Actually, when we moved in, the door was completely off the hinges, and we've just been living with whatever that is. Let's get to demoing, and then we'll get into the magic. All right, let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. We started by peeling away the old facade to reveal the shed's hidden magic. We began by stripping off the rotting paneling, all while planning to extend the door so the circular shape would be perfectly centered. Here, I'm standing by as Ryan works his magic. Opting for a trusty hammer over a crowbar, he kept costs down and the results were just right. As we unearth the shed's potential, we've encountered some issues, like rotting wood. We've chosen to address these later, so please be gentle with your comments and don't come for us on the things we've postponed. We're trying our best. Everything that we're using for this transformation will be listed in the description of this video. And before I forget, I'm completely enchanted by the Hobbit hole look. It's like a cozy dream come true. So, huge thanks to Once Upon a Bungalow on TikTok for inspiring this project. If you love this idea, her content is a must-see. Give her a follow and explore her enchanting world. To make sure the door would be centered in the frame, we had to remove a few of the 2x4s from the previous build. After that, we reinforced the frame with new 2x4s to ensure the facade could handle the weight of the new door. These 2x4s were also needed in order to hold on the new plywood sheets that created the new facade. Once we reached the top of the facade, we used a basic level and the iPhone's Level app to align our angles with the roof. Luckily, the angles were spot on, and the plywood pieces we cut fit together perfectly, like puzzle pieces. But of course, in the end, not everything could be perfect, so we had to cut out a little piece to finish the facade of the shed.
Beautiful.
We did that.
Cool.
Now, I want to take this moment to remind you about Magic Mind, the mental performance shot that I reviewed in my last video. I'm on my 18th day of taking it consistently, and it has been such a game changer. The clarity I feel throughout the day and the energy that I get after taking Magic Mind really help me stay focused and productive. I've also noticed that the effects seem to build up over time after taking it for a few consecutive days, making my routine feel much more seamless and energized over time. If you missed the review on Magic Mind, definitely go back to my last video for more information, especially if you're looking for a boost in your productivity. If you are at all interested in Magic Mind, head to the link in the description of this video for up to 48% off with the code Shelby's Cottage 20. Thank you again so much to Magic Mind for partnering with me today. Now let's get back to the building. So it has been 2 whole months. The weather in Texas is just too hot and humid, especially up here in North Texas. But we are finally getting back to work. We finally have a week that is just going to be in the 90s, low 90s to low 80s even, and that makes it so much easier to get work done. So we've cut out a piece of wood, actually 2 pieces of plywood that we're going to stick together to form the door for this. And then once we get that on, it is finally time to draw the circle for the Hobbit hole. And I am so excited because what I've envisioned in my head, I have not been able to see physically. Alongside the weather just being absolutely mad and crazy, there have just been too many things that have come up, and I have to admit, I've been kind of lazy. Summertime is not the best time for me, so finally it is time to put this door on. Let's go. It's up. So we didn't want to film creating this door because it was just too much of a hassle. Ryan and I are both really bad at math, so we figured to get it right, we would do it off camera, but I can explain what we did. So since your standard plywood sheet is 8x4, and this is obviously bigger than that, we had to get 2 pieces and stitch them together with this frame that Ryan built, and it's pretty sturdy. It really, really works well. We kind of messed up in the beginning, but luckily we got it together. So since all of the structural stuff is finished, we can finally move on to the adornments to make it look like a Hobbit hole. We bought this really thin sheet of wood at the hardware store that we're going to use to make these slats to make it look and appear like it is a Hobbit hole. I'm thinking I want to go a little bit large on the slats, like 4 inches. That way it has really good definition. But before that, I'm going to nail a nail into this door right into the center of where I think I want the circle to be, attach a pencil to it, and draw the circle so I can make sure that it looks really good on this shed. Okay, it's really hot out here. I'm sorry I'm not making hardly any sense, but let's get started on the circle. I am so excited. Cool. Go to bed. All that the circle is finished. I feel like it's all downhill from here. So what we did was we took those planks, we put them together, and how you can see here, they're not perfect, which makes it kind of more, you know, characteristic, handmade. I'm gonna take a chisel and I'm going to set in some divots to make it look a little more worn. Sorry if I'm too close to the camera, but we are about to get started on the brick around the circle. Let's see, what did we buy? What are these called? These?
Thin bricks?
Thin bricks, yeah. The person that I was inspired by, she used a brick veneer that come in sheets, and she was just taking them off. But we found a cheaper option, at least here in America. I think she's from Canada, where we just got these really thin bricks. Whoops. These really thin bricks. Now, we were going to get a tile cutter for this, but Ryan did some research and we think that we can just use this chisel to cut them. We did it here. I'm not going to do it on camera, holding the camera, because I don't want to mess it up. But that's pretty, you know, straight, I think. Don't you think?
I think so.
This is not a good camera. But we're going to use the chisel. We have these very hard places that we have to get into, which are, you know, right here in the door. But can you hold one of those bricks up so we can kind of just like see? My little nephews accidentally put glue here. We have to sand it off, but that's okay. So that's gonna be it. Do you think those are big enough? Yeah. Oh no, we might have to get another box.
Okay. We'll see.
We'll be using this heavy duty construction adhesive to adhere them to the door. And then we're gonna take some mortar and go through all of the bricks to make it look a little bit more finished. So stay tuned. We're getting close to the decorating and to the painting, and I'm just so excited I can't even tell you. The middle. Oh, look at that. So we've come to a spot where we kind of have a problem. Ryan wanted to put it up here, but it just kind of looked weird. And although this looks funny, what's more important is the function of the door. So that is why we've chosen to just bring it down here. As I stated before, we're going to put mortar in between all these bricks to make it look more like they were set in rather than glued on. So we're just gonna take some mortar and kind of like do a faux texture right here to make it kind of look like there is a brick there together. It looks kind of silly, but when the entire thing is done and all of the adornments are on it, it's not gonna matter. So it's just more handcrafted. It's like we're actually hobbits.
So simple. Cool.
Hi. Wow, Viva.
That's good.
This part was by far the most difficult. We had no idea what we were getting into with this mortar. At first, it was either too thick or too runny, and then it hardened so quickly inside the piping bag that we had to switch from the specialized mortar bags to regular plastic ones just to finish the job. Luckily, Ryan managed to get it working while I was losing my patience. As he piped it on, I followed behind to smooth it out. So we are finally finished with the mortar. It was so painful. Luckily, I have the best husband and he did most of the work for me. Ryan and I found these upholstery tacks on Amazon that we're going to put into each of these panels for more texture. If you've ever seen The Hobbit or if you've seen Lord of the Rings, you know that Bilbo's Hobbit hole has the rivets, and we want to stay semi-authentic to that. So we're going to put these in and then we're going to start the painting process. At this stage, I was honestly in awe that we had made it this far. Since starting this project in May, it felt like we were never going to finish. But once I started rolling these classic Hobbit hole colors onto this building, it all began to feel real. Whoever's OCD is going to be dying for this. The transformation was finally taking shape, and with each brushstroke, the shed turned more and more into the cozy, magical space we had envisioned from the start. To bring the transformation to life, the door needed a final touch, a knob as whimsical as the Hobbit hole itself. I found one on Amazon, charming yet too small for the round door, its presence fading against the larger frame. But with a bit of magic from Once Upon a Bungalow, I repurposed a light fixture canopy, painting it to blend seamlessly with the doorknob. Together, they created a striking detail, the perfect finishing touch to complete the enchantment.
Cool.
You know who you look like right now? No Hobbit hole is complete without lush greenery and vibrant foliage. We chose timeless shrubs that will flourish over the years, along with an autumn fern and a few mums perfectly suited for the season. At first, as we poured the rich topsoil, it seemed out of place, blending too freely into the lawn with no clear boundaries. But then we discovered these curved bricks, which fit so perfectly. I felt truly fortunate that we already had them on hand. It's as if they were waiting to be used for this very moment. Okay, hear me out. I found these mushroom solar lights on Amazon for $15. In the daylight, I'll admit, they look a little, well, cheap. But at night, they are pure magic. The soft, gentle glow they cast, low to the ground, feels like something out of a fairy tale. It's just enchanting. Now, y'all didn't think I forgot about putting foliage on top of this, did you? I found these 6 strands of faux eucalyptus that were honestly my only option at this point, and mostly because they were the most cost-effective. Secondly, because I was figuring it was about time to move on from this project. My hopes are to come back to this at some point in the future and create some sort of plan for planters. That way I can plant real ferns to the top of this, but for now I think this will work. I'm nearing the end of this little hobbit hole journey of mine, but before I can call it done, I think it needs a few final touches. A whisper of autumn to complete the seam. Ryan's getting attacked by a bee. He's following you everywhere. Oh my God, now it's around me. Okay, well, there it is. I never thought that we would get to this day. How long has it been? 5 months. 5 months of this project. Not really, we didn't work every single day to get it finished, but it felt like it, especially in the heat. And what would you know? The last day that we are filming this, it is 93 degrees. So not even fall weather yet, but I found it very appropriate to add a few pumpkins so I can mark the memory of when it was finished, which is technically in the autumn. I don't think that this could have turned out any better. I mean, if I'm being hard on myself, yes, maybe that there are some things, but honestly, it is so magical and whimsical. I've already sat out on my back patio and just stared out, and when these lights come on tonight, it's just going to be even more magical. I realize that this video was a little bit unconventional for what I normally do. I tried my very best to give you the information that you would need if you ever choose to do something like this yourself. If I missed something, just let me know in the comments. I will appreciate any feedback that you have. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all of you here, old and new people. I realize that this might not be real autumn content, but I hope that you will forgive me as I did include pumpkins in this one. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Tune in to my next video coming really soon. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.